Yo, Dr. Vegapunk will 100% be reincarnated. And the thing is that it can easily be done a multitude of ways within the story and still make absolute sense. We all know how crazy One Piece is, and then, it's One Piece. When it comes to Oda, nothing is ever truly off the table, so why would reincarnation be? We know in One Piece, one of the core themes is that a person never truly dies as long as their will is carried on by someone else. I feel like this theme was really brought to light in cases of like Ace to Luffy and Rosinante to Law. But even then, there are still like smaller showings of this throughout the whole series. But with that being said, when I say reincarnation, I mean legit reincarnation. Now let me get this out the way because I already know what some of y'all gonna say. Why would he need a reincarnation when he already has the satellites who are pretty much him? The thing is that I view the satellites as more so extensions of him as opposed to being a copy or a one-to-one of him. They're more so continuations of certain parts of his personality as opposed to being like the complete Dr. Vegapunk, Stella. This can be no more showcased than with York. Her wants, needs, goals are exact opposites of anything that the Stella body wants. Yes, I do believe Dr. Vegapunk did show greed, and it was no more highlighted with him actually working with the world government. He wanted funding for his ideas and inventions so bad that he was willing to work with them without really caring where the money come from or what moral decisions he might have to make. The thing is that York is that, but like times 1,000. I could see him having a one-to-one clone just like Miss Buckingham Stussy, except that this clone will have all of his brain power, his ideas, his thoughts, everything, his mind, because of, Punk Records. In chapter 1114, we had one of the most powerful people in the world, a Girlset member, actually question whether the brain inside Punk Records was the real Vegapunk. And then he goes on to question what exactly is death. Now, we know Oda doesn't do anything for no reason, and I believe this is definitely a hint hinting at something more for Vegapunk as opposed to just simply dying. The way I look at it is Vegapunk is essentially a router receiving a Wi-Fi signal via his Apple Core antenna, pretty much giving him consciousness. His mind, thoughts, and consciousness are all received via antenna as opposed to locally like a normal human being. Thus, I think his stellar body was already obsolete. He just wanted to keep it because it was his original body. Therefore, I think his brain signals could be sent elsewhere. We already got to see what a baby Vegapunk would look like when Bonnie used her powers on him to de-age him. I could see his mind and consciousness being transferred to a body of a baby Vegapunk clone, and it could be in the same vein as maybe a Seraphim, whereas he didn't have time to grow or develop. He's still a child. Then baby Vegapunk will get to make it off the island with the Straw Hats, and that way, one, Luffy keeps his promise of getting Vegapunk off the island, and two, he gets to travel with the Straw Hats and, be safe. Another interesting option for Vegapunk return is his consciousness being housed in the body of Kuma. Kuma's body is essentially an empty vessel as his mind, consciousness, and everything that made him him was wiped by Vegapunk years ago. I think this will make him the perfect candidate for Vegapunk's mind. Think about it. If Vegapunk was able to switch his consciousness into Kuma's body, he one will be able to get off the island and actually play his part in the war instead of dying, but more importantly, he could be there for Bonnie. It's no secret that Vegapunk felt extremely guilty for what happened to Kuma, not only because he had to do it, but because of the part he played in it. So I think it would be nothing more fitting than him having to live out his life as Kuma and actually raise Bonnie. I think it would be kind of poetic for Bonnie, Kuma, and Vegapunk. Another far out option I've been seeing floating around on the internet for Vegapunk is him being somehow integrated into Frankie's tech. Whether it be the Frankie Shogun, Frankie himself, or the Sunny, I think it would be super cool if Vegapunk could kind of take like a Jarvis role to the crew, and that would just be dope. Like, imagine Frankie just putting on the Frankie Shogun, and then he just got Vegapunk in there, like with all the different type of Vega tech and all that. That'd be fire, like super fire. But I don't think it's gonna happen. It'll be fire though. With all that being said, One Piece is a story of fantastic proportions where almost anything can happen. Like, there is literally almost nothing off the table when it comes to One Piece. Mix that with great foreshadowing and Oda being a master of breadcrumbs, I think there is absolutely room for Vegapunk to be reincarnated and to actually come back into the series, even though he's not even really out yet. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is Vegapunk done or will he be back?